It's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to the beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride.
And welcome back to another episode of Drunken Suits. I'm your co-host, Will Crowath, with
Bobby Carlson.
All right. So, you guys probably know it by now, but for those of you first tuning in, we're a podcast talking about bachelor parties, talking about different cities, what to do, how to plan. Definitely want to hear crazy stories, like to interview, and we got a couple lined up for you today. So, today we're throwing it kind of back home, a little more local. So we're going to be talking about the Poconos in Pennsylvania. I'm really excited. How are you feeling today about this, Bobby?
Oh, this is great. We got two great interviews lined up, and I know what the viewers are already thinking. Two interviews. Oh my God, it's going to be a 5-hour podcast. But we kept it short. We kept it fun. That's our plan for this whole episode, is keeping it fun. Poconos, it's a lot of fun, different things to do. And I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like you said, not probably a premier destination, probably one that a lot of people might know unless you're from the area. But growing up there, I think we both have some good familiarity, so we might be able to add our personal insights too. But yeah, just to jump right into it, right? The Pocono area in general, it's situated in the northeastern part of Pennsylvania, kind of in the mountain ranges there. Um, it's definitely
Yeah.
a more rural area, not a city. So your population, from what I was seeing, it was like 350,000. I guess it's kind of like a little bit of a difficult one to quantify because it's not really a city. It's just kind of like a general area. So that number
Yeah.
came from Monroe County, where primarily is, and then some of the surrounding like bigger cities, I guess you could say, um, in that general area.
I was going to say, well, think about this, man. So 350,000 like residents there, they get 27 to 30 million visitors.
See, I'm starting to not really comprehend what this visitor number means because that's wild.
That's
That
so
is
wild,
crazy.
right? But you got to think there's
Yeah.
a bunch of just campers going, RVs going, sending it. Um, and then like you have these parties. So it's like, it could add up. But I mean, 27 to 30 million is ridiculous. But the nice thing about PA, you get all seasons. It's not going to, like, just because it's winter doesn't mean people are going to stop going. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of see it, but that's ridiculous.
And I guess it has your proximity, right? You have pretty close to a lot of the areas in southeastern Pennsylvania. Um, New York's not that far. A lot of the areas in New Jersey aren't that far. So yeah, I guess I maybe could see that, right? It's more of a woodsy, rural retreat for maybe some of those busier coastal areas, but that does seem like a very large number, if you ask me.
Yeah. No, yeah, it can be the very nice getaway for everybody. On my research, there's a lot to do. There's a good amount to do. So I mean, it's I don't know, it makes sense, but it's also like, you could go up there with a family. It's not like the bachelor party, club thing. So like, families are going. This is a great getaway, but it still can make for a great bachelor party.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I was gonna roll into that too. Like, definitely seems like it could be a fun place to travel to. I don't know if it's your ideal bachelor party. Obviously, we'll get into that breakdown of that at the very end. Um, I guess just to wrap up the intro, right? Our median age in this area is around 41, so it's definitely on the older side. Your cost of living's, it's cheaper than the national average, so I
Mm.
guess that's a pro. And then tons of Airbnbs and kind of like large scale home rentals type of things. So, um, general overview of the area. How are we feeling? What are you thinking beyond just bachelor party?
Well, I think one cool thing is we talk about the uniqueness that each place brings to what we're talking about. So I think the uniqueness that we're going to really talk about and get into is the activities to do here and not as much nightlife, clubs, all of that area. We're going to be talking about this is unique because this is the group that wants to get outside and do something, or the group that, hey, I have, a ton of friends and they all want to come on a bachelor party and it's kind of hard to hit those big cities. We're going to make our own fun regardless of where we're going. So I think that's kind of the uniqueness the Poconos is going to bring, and what we're going to get into is there's these different events, different houses, and different like ways to get the group involved and a really big group into an area. So I think that's kind of where I'm leaning towards now. But I'm curious to see what you found on this. I think we're probably going to be finding very similar stuff, just because it's not so vast that we're going to be talking so crazy different, but we're going to be talking right up the same alleys.
Yeah, yeah. You hit the nail on the head too. It's definitely a cool like local spot, and very accommodating for large scales of people. So let's jump into it.
Well, with all that
What?
being said, let me jump into this first, right? I start doing my research and I just type in bachelor party Poconos just to see, right? And you know how on Google there's like the sponsored like one or two different things,
Yeah.
and then it's like your real information. First sponsored thing when I type in bachelor party Poconos is Poconos party strippers.
Are you sure that's not just your cookies?
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, probably. The cookies is trashed right now. It knows what I want. No, but I mean, yeah, how crazy! I didn't know that was out there. I gotta think Pocono strippers is gonna be some husky women.
So I didn't even come across that. I'll be honest, but yeah,
I didn't even look into it more than just seeing it the first one.
we're starting off hot on the Poconos.
Yeah, I don't think anybody that's been to the Poconos or has thought about going is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we were planning strippers. Perfect. This is what I wanted to hear." This is not the trip for strippers, I would think, but that's just the first thing I saw, and it cracked me up.
No, that's incredible. I I wouldn't have guessed that. Um, I guess on a similar vibe though, this could be a good
Oh,
segue. Might not be the first thing you think of when you think of the Poconos, but the Mount Airy Casino, strippers, gambling, kind of goes hand in hand. Um,
mm-hmm.
they do have a large casino, so it's we are talking a pretty rural area, but there is one massive Mount Airy Casino and Resort. Um, I found out that it is like 4 diamonds certified or has the award for that.
Hmm.
I had to look that up, but basically it's just like hotels, restaurants, casinos that are super stylish, upscale, kind of just high degree of hospitality, and um, so yeah, I mean it's just a not only is it a gambling arena, but it has luxury resort attached to it, and you're out in the natural beauty of the Pocono Mountains. So it's
Well,
probably a massive draw.
I did see in that casino too. Made me hungry looking at it. Love this guy. In the Mount Airy Casino has Guy Fieri's Mount Pocono Kitchen in it, and
Yes.
that's my dog. That is straight my dog. That dude lives. What's the one show where he dives,
Diners,
drives,
drive-ins,
and
and dives.
yeah, dude, that show is awesome. I used to watch that all the time. Got me hungry. Oh, that guy's my guy.
Yeah, and shout out to him. I know I haven't met him, but one of my friends has met him, and he said he's a super cool, down to earth guy. He was just sitting at the bar right next to him, struck up a conversation. So, sounds like a genuinely good dude too. But quick aside,
Yeah. You know what? Hey, guy, reach out to us and let us know what's the best food to make on the bachelor party. Boom.
or come to an interview on on the podcast.
Yes. No, but I saw that and wanted to shout that out because he's awesome. But it's good food in that casino. yeah, it's a real casino. Like it's it's a one that a bachelor party would have a lot of fun in. Um, yeah, no, absolutely. Um, so I think though, biggest thing you're going to be talking about when it comes to the Poconos is the outdoors.
Yeah,
So, I mean, outdoor adventures, it really can depend on the seasons. So, Poconos, we're in Pennsylvania, Northeast Pennsylvania. It's going to have all 4 seasons. Pretty cool. Take it as you want, but there's things to do in every season. So it doesn't like shut down or go into hibernation like a little bit more north does sometimes, where, it's really seasonal, different activities. This is where it's cool, where you get the ski, snowboarding. A lot of these houses have hot tubs, like it's pretty cool. They know in PA how to make it still work and do things and get outside. But then in the summer and spring months and when everything's nice, you got your ATVing, hiking, golfing, beaches. Um, there's paintball, which we'll get into, but there's guns. I mean, just the hiking trails and everything, and going through the Poconos, and it's gorgeous.
yeah. It's like you said, the outdoors is the got to be the premier draw. It's beautiful scenery. I think, did you mention whitewater rafting? That's another big one too.
No,
Like,
totally went over my head. I have it down, but I just didn't say it there. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's one that's, I guess, has a lot of varying levels of difficulty from what I was seeing, anywhere from like kind of a beginner friendly areas to class 2 and 3 rapids, which are kind of like definitely more on the advanced side, but not anything too crazy. Um,
At that same, I don't think we're pros. I'm not saying that or anything like that. Okay, whitewater rafting, it's its own whole category. You can get really crazy with it, but I think like category 1 is what we go, or unless I'm reversing it, but like the easiest level.
one is the lowest, yeah.
1 is lowest. Okay, yeah. So category 1, I think, is like what we go cabrewing in. Maybe even category 2, like, dude, we go down the Lehigh, and then I see like a whole tour group going down next to us, like, oh, and I'm like, what? Like, I'm just in my kayak, like, lounged out, like, it's drinking a beer, and these guys are like, lean. I'm like, what? So take that as it is. But I think there are other ones than the Lehigh that, really get you moving, really get, it'll be a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend it. But for sure, that's yeah, that's take it as you want.
Fair enough, yeah. Um, I've never actually been up in the Poconos, so that was just personal research.
Wow.
I'm sorry, whitewater rafting, or like out on a
Oh
boat
yeah.
or kayak or whatever. Um, all right, you want to take another outdoor activity, or should I go with another one?
Um. Well, I had treetop rope courses on there too,
Ooh,
also with mixed with mountain biking. And it's kind of taking two, but there's these like trails that you go down, and kind of over you are these like rope courses, zip lines, and different things to do. Um, a lot of the ski resorts that are all around in the summer will turn into these mountain biking and ropes courses. So pretty cool, different thing to do. Again, just getting outside. I think getting outside for a bachelor party makes sense. Like, especially Poconos, you're getting into these adventures. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. It's a bonding moment, something you guys could talk about, laugh about, everything. So I think this would be pretty cool. Mountain biking could be tough if your group's not into it. I think that should be said, I guess, too. There's a certain type of group that should come to the Poconos, and it's that
yes,
outdoor adventure, getting active group. But also, you could just be going for the big house and having fun too, and making your own fun.
yeah. And I think that's another key point too. Is like this area really kind of shines in the outdoor activities, but it's also very much lacking on the second half, like nightlife, that kind of side. So, like you said, it would be ideal if your group is very outdoorsy oriented,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where you're going to get a lot of your activity from. But yeah, I just before we kind of move too much further along, I definitely want to talk about the skirmish a little bit, foreshadowing into the episodes a little. So um, this is kind of like a massive draw because it is the largest facility I think in the world for paintball. Um, I saw like 750 acres of land with more than 50 unique fields, different terrains. They have like castles, they have villages, they have like an Alamo replica, um, and then they do a bunch of different like
D-Day.
scenario games. Yeah. The scenario games where they set up like the invasion of Normandy on D-Day and other things of that nature. So,
Pretty sick.
yeah, give it a shot for sure.
Yeah. Um, I was reading like a bunch of Reddit posts and stuff just about like what are people doing. You know, it's sometimes it's nice to get away from when you're doing your research of just like what are the tourist things to do, and you read Reddit and like read what real people are doing. But all of them are still saying the paintball. So the paintball is definitely one of the main activities. I can understand why both of our interviews are going to talk about it. I just have a couple other things to say before interviews kind of start up here because I really want those interviews to, we want to hit them hard. But Poconos Raceway, pretty cool up there. You can get behind the wheel and drive, all different variations of cars and get behind it, which is pretty cool. Get your
Probably want to do that early
time.
in the morning before you start drinking.
You have to do it before you start drinking. There's some activities you can drink, like golf. There's over two dozen courses around a 20-mile kind of radius that you could drink for. Getting behind the raceway, nope. Or shooting
That's
or
very
going
frowned
to
upon.
a shooting range, I would not drink for that one. Skiing
Early
and
morning
snowboarding,
activities.
probably not. Yeah. Skiing and snowboarding, it can differ.
That's a toss-up. That's a toss-up.
I'm going to put it to you're skiing the Northeast, so you should be fine. And also, depending on what your level's at. But I'm all for it. Warm yourself from the inside.
Actually, you know what? I think I'm more pro drinking on this side. Beginners help with the pain when you're falling all the time. More advanced, it gives you a little more courage to be a little more ballsy and do the more difficult terrains. Anyway, sidetracked.
Okay. No, that's not sidetracked. I like that. That's good. Yeah, I mean that's kind of all I had before interviews. I kind of want to see if you had anything. Also like there's some brewery tours, 14 wineries and distilleries around. But
yep, I saw the winery, brewery, distilleries. It's kind of going to be a staple, I think, in any sort of rural area. It's just an easy way to draw people in. Yeah, you hit on most of them. I think the only other thing that I wanted to talk about was the Kalahari Resort. Indoor water park. I guess, I mean, this is a chain, not a chain, it just has multiple locations. So I'm just known for their massive indoor water parks. Probably more of a family-friendly vibe, but I mean, maybe it could be a fun opportunity during the day, especially if it's like bad weather or something out. And I mean, hey, T Grizzly's been there, so it can't be that family-friendly, right?
That's
no,
that's it. What a poll! Right there.
Yeah, there's probably only a handful of people watching that's going to know that one, but had to sneak it in.
I liked it. No, yeah, indoor water park. Make it what you want. There might be a lot of kids and a lot of families around, but you have a large group or all dudes that are just going to be menaces. Be respectful, but yeah, make it what you want. Have some fun.
Yeah. Well, hey, you said that was your list pretty much wrapped up right there.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, yeah, we got 2 interviews lined up. So, first one, Mitch, real cool experience there. So, let's throw it over to him.
I thought you were about to say cool cat.
He is a cool cat.
Real cool cat.
Look, I can say that. I know you're going to make fun of that, but he is a cool cat.
All right, let's toss it over to this cool cat. All right, we're here with Mitch. How you doing, Mitch?
Hey, how's it going, boys?
Welcome to the
Well,
show.
Thank you. Long awaited.
yeah, you've been a big fan, and I appreciate it. I know you've given us some good feedback before, so we're happy to have you on. So, Mitch, for the viewers out there, he is my brother. He's been on multiple bachelor parties before, and today we're going to be talking about his trip to the Poconos.
Yeah,
So,
I'm excited.
pretty cool. Poconos are pretty cool. It's probably not the most exciting one you've been on because I know we went to Miami before, which is pretty up there for bachelor
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah, I've done
But
Miami and Austin, so a little different, but it's still fun.
definitely. But so Poconos, you had a good time there?
Yeah, it was nice. It's definitely like them being from Pennsylvania, it's an easy just trip. It's definitely more low key, but which is a good switch up when, some of them get a little over the top sometimes. So it's a nice, like, easy one to do. A lot of people can come. It's definitely a lot of benefits there. It's, it's a little bit less taxing on everyone, which is nice, and get a lot of people up, which is good being from Pennsylvania.
So how many people? Yeah, how many people were in this group? And kind of how many days? Kind of rough
Yeah,
overview.
so yeah, we did it. It was like a year ago, a little over a year ago, last March, and I think there was probably 15 to 20 people.
Whoa.
So we just got a big house, up in the Poconos, up in the woods, kind of random place, but big like log cabin style house, which was super fun. Just kind of packed it in with everyone, but it was good. Yeah, there's a lot of people, so it was fun.
Well, I've seen in some research that there's these mega cabins in the Poconos. They can fit up to like 25, 30 people. So, I mean, 15, that's still a lot, though.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really nice house. I mean, like definitely your typical like log cabin where like everything on the inside even is just made of wood. Kind of hear where everyone is at all times, which is kind of sucks when you're trying to sleep. But yeah, it was like an old house, but it was big. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I would guess there was probably 5 bedrooms, and then then there was an attached garage, like a normal garage. But what they did instead of making a garage, they just like attached it to the rest of the house fully, so it's like wide open with just one door, and then made it a like pool table, ping pong table, foosball, big TV, bunch of couches, and they said like garage doors on. I guess you could open them up or not, but it was kind of cold in March, so we didn't do that. But it was pretty cool. And, like hot tub out back, pretty big yard, fire pit. So it was a cool house. Like it was pretty fun to go there.
Yeah, it's pretty loaded.
Yeah, that sounds like
Yeah.
quite the setup. But
Did everybody have a bed?
I think for the most part, I don't know. Some people crash on couches, but that might have just been too much drinking anyway. So everyone might have had a bed anyway. Who knows?
amazing. So
That's fair.
you said March. Was that on purpose, or was that like a time constraint with the wedding? Seems a little cold.
Yeah, so it was. I think he got married end of April, so we went like end of March. So I guess just like a month before. I don't know if it was anything specific. It might have been. It could have been like Easter-ish weekend where we had another day. I kind of forget exactly when it was, but it might have just been when everyone just kind of had time to do it and just the best day for everyone. But I think it was just kind of before the wedding, but not really any time specific. Yeah, it was just kind of random, I guess. But
So you went for 3 days or 4 days?
I think it was 3 days. I think just everyone came Friday morning and left Sunday.
Not
So
bad.
basically just, everyone pouring in on Friday, like, as soon as we can get the house. And so we just hung out pretty much Friday, and then did a bunch of activities on Saturday, and then people just kind of got out of there on Sunday. So pretty quick one, but it was kind of good. It's kind of all you needed, I guess, for the Poconos.
All right.
Definitely.
So are you talking about these activities? What were some of the highlights that you got into on Saturday then?
Yeah, so Saturday morning, we went and played paintball. So there's this big paintball place up there. I forget what it's called exactly, but I mean, there's like it's pretty intense. I mean, and none of us are like real paintballers, of course, but there's probably like, I don't know, I guess like 10 different like courts you're on. So there's like all these crazy things, and we brought everyone, so we bring like a full squad in pretty much. And a bunch of times it was just like us and a couple of different people against 20 other people. So there's these like massive, like paintball fights going on pretty much. It was crazy, and they have like refs. Like it's pretty intense. So and then there's like regulars that come, so they are like nasty. Bring their souped up guns. They got like air packs on their back, like backpacks, dressed in full camo. They're going crazy, and like they're shooting like 10 bullets for every one bullet we can get off probably. So they're just spraying us down. So you would like pray one of them would be on your team, but most of the time they weren't. So we were just getting peppered most of the time. But it was a pretty cool setup. Like they had like a bunch of different like types too. Like, you know, they have like two or 3 story buildings, like in like a little setup town. So that was fun. Like you're hiding behind things, climbing up steps and everything. One was like,
I feel like you're playing COD in that then.
yeah, like it was exactly like that. Like there's woods ones with just a bunch of trees. One was like a D-Day setup. So like, you know, like the boats that came in on it. So they had one of those, and they literally like 20 people are like, everyone get in. So you're in this like, it's like a wooden box, and they have like a thing, and then it folds down, and then the other team is just out there. Like they're far enough for a second, but you're just running into an ambush. Like it's bad. So you're just getting sprayed down. But I mean, it's you get a little adrenaline going though, being in there, and then then you hear the whistle go, and then they drop the doors, and you have to run out, and you're just like trying to dodge bullets. It's pretty crazy, but it made it pretty fun.
I feel like a month away from the wedding, you know, the groom gets pretty dialed in there. He could still have some bruises on the wedding day.
yeah. Hopefully they didn't last too bad, but yeah, a couple of people got like some, like, you know, you have a full mask on everything, but like you can get hit like just above the mask and like get one in the like right in the forehead or right on the side of your face. I mean, it hurts a little bit, but yeah, it was fun.
That's a lot of fun. That's like a great one for a bachelor party, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, like every guy likes it. And actually, speaking on like stuff, guys, like actually, so I just came a little late, but so what they did Friday during the day, they just went to like a real shooting range,
Nice.
real guns, and they like, I don't exactly know what it was, but they did like maybe 5 different guns. So each person paid whatever amount, and then you got like, you know, pistol, shotgun, something else, and then I think the last one was like a 50 cal. So they all got to shoot that like once or twice.
Oh man!
So and they said it was pretty awesome, and like machine guns and like all that. So they thought that was really a lot of fun. But I didn't get to do that part. But
I'm sure there's some sore shoulders after that. That's probably pretty cool though.
Yeah, it sounded like a pretty neat thing to do actually.
I got to think every guy hasn't shot a gun before there too, so someone probably destroyed that shoulder.
Oh yeah. I'm sure everyone was pretty inexperienced, but yeah,
someone has a bruise around looking down.
Yeah, too close.
That's fun though. That's fun. So, was the groom really pushing for, like, was he gun heavy, looking for the range and paintball?
No, definitely not. It's
what,
not
the
like
best
he's
man
like that
then?
at all. Yeah, so the best man was his brother, and then his dad also came along too. So I think it was kind of the combo of his brother and his dad kind of playing in different things. But just being up in the Poconos, it's not like you're going to bars, and it's not like you know, you're not like there's like a town to go out in. So it's like do activities. So we also did it in the morning. So it was like a morning time activity. Everyone's sober, of course, and you know, you're just having a good time. And for the gun range, everyone, of course, had to be sober for that. So we did paintball in the morning, came back, hung out for a bit, and then we did rock climbing at night. So the groom's like really into rock climbing. He goes like a rock climbing gym like probably once a week, he said. So and there's like one, 20 minutes away. So that was actually like a lot of fun, and no one had any experience doing it. So everyone was kind of like, doesn't know what they're getting into. And the cool thing was like some people didn't want to come, so they just sat out at the house and just hung out at the house, which was cool. But like anyone that wanted to come came, and then there's stuff for like beginner to expert level. So like expert, none of us could do. Like it was so hard, it was ridiculous.
Did the groom get that?
In there. He did some, but I mean there was some probably for him that was too hard, and like there was like regulars in there that were like struggling with all this stuff. But there's like a lot of beginner ones that were super fun. And even if people don't want to climb, they could like belay, basically watch you as you go up and like watch the rope. So they did that, and like, yeah. So it was pretty cool. Something different. Like you never really experienced it. I've never done it before, but I thought it was so fun. Like it was, just trying something new. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're just like going against a course, or are you guys like racing? I guess I've never really seen a rock climbing gym, so I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just basically like a bunch of different walls, and you're just trying against the course. Honestly, like it's plenty hard enough. You don't need any more competition than the course itself. But they each it's a bunch of different like color holds and footholds, and then whatever the color is like how hard it can be. So like we all start at the most basic one, and we're like, all right, that's not too bad. You get up there, your forearms feel it a little bit, and then you get to like, you're like, let's ramp it up, try the next one, and you're like, oh geez, this is actually kind of crazy. How people fall off, and like you can catch them. You can kind of start back where you fell, but like sometimes you're like, no way, I'm done. Your forearms start locking up, like. So it was fun, but it got really hard. Like even like especially because we haven't done it before. Like we did probably 2 or 3 of the hard ones, and we're like I would like to go again. Like my forearms are literally like your hands get stuck like this, and you're like, oh my god, this is so hard. You feel like such a wimp.
Perfect though for a beer after then.
There you go, exactly. But it tired us out.
Yeah, man. Do you ever see like the pros in the Olympics do the speed climbing?
Yeah,
that's not human, right? Like that is insane.
Yeah, that's insane. That's absolutely wild. It's like 5 seconds it takes them to get up to the top. We're taking like 20 minutes just trying to hold on for our life.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. So, did you take any part in planning this trip at all, or like help out?
No, none. No, just
Okay.
just an invite. Yeah. So it was a high school
15
friend.
guys.
So yeah. So it basically invited like our entire friend group from high school, which was pretty cool to have everyone back together.
And it's nice having it that close. And you can just kind of make it all.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that meant like you really had no expectation, or did you kind of know what you were getting into beforehand?
I would say like I knew the expectation. Like one, being from Pennsylvania, like we all kind of know the Poconos. It's just kind of like mountains, woods, that kind of stuff. But I guess we didn't even do that much like outdoor activities. But knew that, and then like I mean, obviously the groom, so like. I wouldn't say he's like the biggest, like, let's go out to the bars and party kind of guy. I mean, not saying he doesn't, but just, I wouldn't say that's his like first thing he wants to do. So it kind of was like his vibe, which was perfect for him. I think he like had a pretty good time. And then too, like, I mean, his brother is like a year younger, so like he fit in, of course, but like his dad like really wanted to come too. So like that was kind of good as well. Like, and he like did like he's pretty athletic. So he did all those activities stuff, did paintball, did rock climbing, and like then like we're hanging out at night, like drinking and stuff. Like he would be drinking with all of us, which was like super fun. And then he would get a point like he'd be like, all right, you guys keep going. I'm gonna go to bed. And it was still like late. Like he still like partied and had a good time. Then he like just knew like, all right, you guys can outlast me probably. So that's enough for me. But it was nice to have him around, and like he bought us like a couple dinners. We had like like he ordered Italian food once, and so like yeah, it was good to have him around, and I think he enjoyed it a lot too.
Was that something you were concerned about? Food? You kind of brought that up there. I mean, you're kind of in the Poconos, and you're not really going out, and that's a big group to feed for all meals.
Yeah, I mean, just like part of like guys' brains are just like, oh, let's just go and we'll just drink beer. It's like actually, it'd be nice to eat food once in a while. And like I've been on other ones where you're like, oh, we have another house of 20 dudes. Like, anyone think about food? And they're like, wow, we'll just fend for yourself. And you're like, that's not how it works. So it worked out so well. And like then that was the one nice thing is like in the Poconos, like you're not flying there, so like everyone has cars, so you can like you are a little bit out there from like restaurants, whatever, but you can still find one 10, 15 minutes or grocery store, whatever you need. So it's like nice. You can just hop in a car and drive somewhere. If you fly in somewhere, it's like sometimes you feel stranded, or it's like you have to eat out every single meal. So this was nice to just be like convenience wise. It was nice.
And I'm sure people brought a bunch of food, snacks, and beers with, right? That's one of the major benefits in doing a more local one too. So
exactly, probably everyone showed up with like a case or two, and like I had one friend like because like family business whatever, they have like a big giant van, so like they packed probably 10 or 12 guys into that, packed all their stuff in. So like that was the majority of the people coming up, which was fun.
That's got to be a packed car ride, Jesus.
Oh yeah, packed, smells. All of the above.
Starting the beers in there probably already too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's it's only like an hour and a half ride, probably. Yeah, probably even closer to an hour, like ride up. So beer's gotta be flowing early.
So you've been on a couple bachelor parties. You kind of brought up earlier that you were in Miami and in Austin. Do you have any like tips or tricks as you're kind of in there already with a couple under your belt? Like, what do you think is like important for someone that's like gonna go on one for their first time?
Yeah, I mean, someone just going, be flexible. Like everyone's different. Every vibe is a little different. A lot of the Austin one and this one was kind of the same group of friends. So it's like one main group of high school friends. So everyone kind of knows each other. So that makes it a little bit simpler. One we went on in Miami, it's a lot of different groups coming together. You had high school, college, family, all that. So when all that mixes, you just don't know everyone. So that being flexible is always good. Just kind of feel it out. Don't be the person that's causing problems, being like, we're not doing this. Just be flexible, go with the flow. You're on the trip, but it's not your trip. It's not about you. So do what the group wants, do what everyone wants, go with the flow. That's what makes it more fun. Just relax. You're not going to get everything to be your way. So just have the most fun you can have. Have a good time with your boys on the way. That's all that matters.
Very well put. Very well put. Have some good time with the boys. Cheers.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So what would your take be then, I guess, more suited to your style? Like, you've been on a bunch of different ones. If you were going to plan one for yourself, which kind of vibe would you go with?
Yeah, I would probably like a Miami one. Probably be I wouldn't pick that as my top choice. Like, I'd probably go like some kind of lake. Like, this one was like a lot of fun, and the Poconos just being like. I mean, the thing is, like, those big ones like Miami, Austin, those big cities. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're so much fun, and you're out. But like, if you have a big group going, you don't always need those. I feel like so. Like, the Poconos is fun, like, because you're at the house, you're hanging out with 20 people. It's like your own mini party in itself. And if you go out, it's like, who are you going to talk to? Probably your friends anyway. So I mean, it's fun to go out. Don't get me wrong, but like it's also fun just to hang out with your friends that you came to see. And like I live like far away from a lot of those guys, so it's good to just like catch up and hang out with them. And even like at the house there's like a basketball court, and we're just messing around playing basketball half the time, and you're just like that was like half the fun in it. Just like lowering the rim, dunking on each other. Like it sounds dumb, but it's like that's fun in itself. So like I would probably I like the idea of like just having a lot more people, and then like it's harder to bring 20 people to like Vegas or Miami or whatever, so it's like 20 people, put them in a lake house, something like that. I think that's always fun. And like activities, golf, boating, all that. Like this was a lot of fun doing paintball and rock climbing, all that stuff. So definitely a little different, but it's a lot of fun.
And especially Poconos is kind of out there alone in itself in the woods there, but there is all this stuff around. Like you said, paintball, there is golf around too. These mega cabins though, that's really cool. So your vibe is kind of getting that mega cabin, big group. And you said on a lake too, like that's not bad. Do you have a lake in mind?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if any of them really work on a boat on the lake, it's pretty good.
Sorry, I threw out a suggestion to Crowboth earlier about the Ozarks and how fun that is. All these different bars on the lake too, and it's kind of like a pretty ideal spot for a bachelor party. And you can get these mega cabins on the lake. That's one I would recommend for you as well. I think you could have a lot of fun there.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I mean, and I live down in Charlotte, so like a ton of people go to Lake Norman, which is there's like 2 or 3 of my friends are going on bachelor and bachelorette trips this spring, so it's popping out there for those kind of trips. So it's pretty fun.
Guess we have our next interviews coming up.
Me too.
Well, Mitch, it's been great having you on, but what I want to know is the Poconos as a bachelor party destination. What are you giving a rating for it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely is like specific to the groom. Like this was, I feel like right up his alley, perfect. Perfect just being location wise, being in Pennsylvania, perfect for those kind of activities he likes. Like he does rock climbing all the time, so I think this was like rating it for him. Like it was probably 9 for him. Just like in general, like it's definitely not everyone's vibe. I think like a lot of people go to a bachelor party expecting go out every single night, go crazy at bars, all that stuff. That's not what you're going to get at the Poconos. But like if you're bringing a big group, you like those activities. You like winter, a lot of places to ski in the summer, hiking, all that stuff. So like if you're expecting all that, it's a pretty good spot. And being from Pennsylvania, Philly, like a lot of people kind of go up there for the summer, for winters kind of thing. So I think it's really good. Overall then I 7, 6. 6 or 7, I guess. Just in general, like
Nice.
it's a good like mountain spot, I would say, if that's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a good time.
6 or 7. That's kind of rookie though. You're not giving me the point, whatever. You're not dialing it in.
All right, 6.6.
All right, there it is. Cool. Six
There's
point
some
six for Mitch
overall
Carlson.
Just got to add
overall
the
spot,
decimal
but
just to make it seem like you
yeah,
know more like what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
yeah. I would say like that's overall for everyone. Like I liked it though. I enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
I would get why some people wouldn't like it. That's what I'm saying.
So if you're not in Pennsylvania, do you think people wouldn't necessarily travel there? I kind of got that from your breakdown.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't think so. I didn't like. It's not the craziest like I would say. I think like upstate New York. There's a lot of similar things like Finger Lakes. That's kind of similar vibes. Smoky Mountains. Like it's more of a national
Mm-hmm.
park, but I think that's kind of similar. Like Asheville in North Carolina, kind of mountain towns. So I would say that's probably a little bigger. Like if you're just going for a mountain place, or like if you're really going mountains, you would go to like Colorado, go to Denver, go out in the mountains there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't think like people are flying in from all different places to go to the Poconos, but I mean, at least just being from Pennsylvania, I mean, everyone from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, like some New York people, like it's all right there. So
Well, do you think it's on the come up then? Is it the hidden gem of bachelor parties where everybody else is going to these other, well known spots, and this might be a hidden gem for that quieter group that just wants to
I would
have
say
a
it
good
might be a
time?
stretch to say that.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. It's been around. I mean, growing up around there, you hear about it all the time. So it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing crazy. And like, there's Lake Wallenpaupack back up there.
Mm-hmm.
So people go to that in the summer, but I don't know if hidden gem is the right word to use. It's a good spot. It's like and like
It's a
just
good
the
spot.
convenience of it being right there is like super nice. So yeah, I'm not knocking it at all. I just don't. I wouldn't call it a hidden gem for the country that people are traveling. That's all.
It's a role player. It knows its role and it
Yeah.
gets it done.
Exactly. Yeah. It'd be competing for six man of the year, but I don't know. I don't know if it'd win.
Yeah. Well, Mitch, man, I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us about the Poconos here and talking about your trip.
Of course, of course. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah. Probably gonna have you
Appreciate
back
it.
on too, just so you know.
Yeah, sweet. You guys got to come down to Charlotte and do another one.
Sounds
Yes,
good.
sir.
We'll be there. Thanks, Mitch.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Mitch.
All right, Drew, your turn. On to you.
All right. Welcome back to the pod, Drew. Had you on for Austin. We're going to have you on this week here for the Poconos. How you doing?
Doing well, boys. It's nice to see you guys again. Thanks again for having me. Exciting.
Absolutely, man. We're so excited that you came back, and we had so much fun with you the last time. We want to do it again.
I appreciate that. So take it away.
Yeah, so bachelor party in the Poconos. Give us a quick rundown. How many people was it? What time of year? How close to the wedding? Just a brief overview.
Yeah, so it was actually 2 weeks after we recorded the last interview, so like late March timeline, which was great for Poconos. So because up there in the mountains, it wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. Did get a little nipply in the end there, but nothing too crazy. There was about 7 of us total, so much smaller than the Austin trip, but it was good. It was also more of a low key trip. No uber crazy shenanigans, more of just chilling with the boys, drinking beers in the Airbnb for most of it. We did do a couple excursions, but yeah, it was fun.
What were these excursions like?
Yeah, so I actually missed out on the first day because I couldn't get off work, so I showed up late on Friday, and I actually met them at Skirmish Paintball Field. I don't know if you guys are familiar up there, but that was kind of the big highlight. That was what was the reason we were going up there. That, and we went out to the Mohegan, the casino. I did a little bit of gambling. I didn't. I like to say I only gamble with my life, but hung out with the boys, a little bit of gambling, saw a comedy show at the Mohegan, and then paintballing
Nice.
pretty much all day on Saturday was paintball. So that was a lot of fun. But those were the two big things. Other than that, it was hanging out. We did a murder mystery dinner at the Airbnb, stuff like that. So it was fun.
Murder mystery.
Yeah,
That's a good
man.
way to get everybody involved there. I like it.
Yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, it was fun. Again, pretty low key. A lot of just chilling, shooting the breeze with the boys, drinking beers, and having a good time.
So I'm curious. We just had Mitch on, who also went paintballing. So what were your thoughts on this
Okay.
place? I bet it's probably the same one.
I guarantee it's the same one. It's a huge. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the largest in the country, not the largest in the world, but largest in the country. They actually do every
Wow.
June. They have like on D-Day, a D-Day recreation where they get the guy was telling me like 1,500 different guys coming out for one big paintball match. So it's pretty sizable, pretty cool. I didn't get the memo because again I showed up late. They were already in the field starting, but you can get these like jumpsuits to protect your clothes for like
Mhm.
15 extra bucks. Everyone got those except me, so I'm just out there in like a bright t-shirt and jeans with like one little fanny pack of bullets as everyone has like tactical vests and stuff. So that's the one downer. Kind of ruined some of my clothes, but dude, it was a blast. They have I want to say 52 different fields. So we just hopped from field to field. We did like 2 or 3 games on one, 2 or 3 games on the other. The only downside is there was actually another bachelor party there at the same time. Wonder if it was your brother's.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
They
But
also went
they
in
had a
March, I
lot.
think, right?
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah, they did.
wild if it
That
was.
would be the craziest thing.
They had a lot more people than us though, because again we were 7. I think they had like 15. So they actually split us up, and
They
could
could
it
be
have been
there
him?
15.
Jeez,
That would be awesome
Oh.
if that was the case.
that would be dope. But they actually split up both groups, so it wasn't 7 of us against 15 of them. So that's the only downside. We didn't get to like play as a full team at all, and we didn't get to play just us against us either. So that's my only critique. But we were there. They got there at 8. I think I rolled in at 10, and we were there until like 4. It was like a full work day of just paintballing, which was a blast.
That's awesome. Was that
Yeah.
more of your like the groom's idea, or like the best, like who was planning that, and like who was like shooting for that,
Yeah,
shooting for that pun?
I'm pretty sure it was the best man. He's the one that planned everything. I don't think Quinn knew anything going into it.
Mm.
That's a lie. We did have to tell him about the comedy show, but other than that, it was complete surprise for him. He didn't know about the murder mystery. He didn't know about anything, which was great. Wish I was there to see him see the Airbnb and stuff, but again, I couldn't get off of work. But yeah, paintballing was fun. A couple guys got hit right in the eyes. Obviously, we had face masks. And let me tell you, you cannot wipe that off. You just get a haze. You have to wait until the round's over. One guy got a crotch shot. That was great.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a blast. Highly recommend.
Yeah, no, that seems like such a good idea for a bachelor party. I mean, so much fun. I mean, even if you're not, the craziest gun person or whatever, I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be fun just messing around out there, shooting. You're not getting hurt or anybody's getting hurt, but
Yeah.
it's going to maybe leave a bruise, which is funny.
Yeah, one of them got a nice little welt, and that was the crotch shot. So it was great. Technically upper thigh, but close enough. Yeah, crazy.
I know one time I went paintballing. I went with my family, and it was like extended family. And I have a younger girl cousin, and she was like the last person on the team, And I have been missing shots this entire time, so I let out a couple. I like her, down scope everything. She's not even looking. And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Didn't miss one. Lasered her like leg.
How old was she?
She was probably like middle teens, early teens, and stuff. But I was that's what we were there for.
Just bullying cousins. It's
Yeah.
great.
No, it's great. Yeah, but then you're bullying a groom and some of your best friends. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was our one critique, that we couldn't do Quinn against the rest of us and just open seasoned him. But nah, it was a blast.
Yeah.
So
should have made him run the gauntlet.
That's amazing.
Just fire. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
We did have one of the workers get on one of our teams. He was master. It was crazy. But he also had one of those upgraded ones that like we were all lobbing shots and he was lasering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's really cool.
That sounds like a great time. I'm gonna switch directions though. Murder mystery,
Go for it.
man.
Yeah.
What inspired you, or I guess the best man to do that? Or does that fit the the groom's vibe, or I guess what inspired that?
Yeah. So Groom is a bartender mixologist guy, and his style is very 1920s, pre-prohibition. Like he loves those cocktails, he loves that kind of thing. So that was the setting of the murder mystery. Think basically
Mm.
Jay Gatsby. Like one of the characters was literally named Jay Glittersby, that kind of stuff. I was Shay D. Sort. That was my character's name. We had whole bunch of other puns. It was amazing. I'm a big fan of puns. You guys know this, so it was top tier. I was not the killer, mind you. I'd like the record to
Ooh.
show there. But there was a little bit of a wrench thrown in the plan there because one of the guys had a really bad stomach flu the whole week leading up to it, and then running around with paintball because it was the same night. It was after the paintball. We came home, crashed for like an hour, and then we did that. And it was like we had to dress the part. We brought suits, hats, like we got dressed
Oh
up for it.
wow.
It was pretty cool. But he was just sitting there, just hating life, like the whole time through it, and to the point where we had to like check on him, and the best man had to go out and be like, "Yo, are you good? You need to go to bed? Okay, just tell me, are you the killer or not? If you're the killer, we'll repick. If you're not, we'll just pretend you never existed."
Yeah.
So he did. He checked out for the night. He went up to bed. He was not the killer either. But yeah, it was a blast. We had to go around and like talk with each other, and we each had like a script where we had a rumor about one of the other guys and all this stuff. It was a lot of fun. My character was supposed to be an ex-mafia guy, and this might be similar to the Rainy Street guy from the other episode. This might be a little rough for you guys, so get that beep button ready. But my apparently my Chicago Italian American accent sounds very much like a deep South black man's. So then they just took that and ran with that and pretended that I was black the whole night. Drinks were flowing, cigars were going, so it was interesting. And that was probably the funniest bit of it, other than the
Yeah,
other
that's
groomsmen
great.
dying. But I wasn't intending to do that, but that's how they interpreted it as. So you guys, every time I'm on, I can give you something that's a little risque.
I guess it was like best man setting it all up then.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
best man was Jay Glittersby. He was like the host bringing us all together.
Nice.
None of us actually died. It was more of like character off screen died, and then we had to figure out who amongst us was the killer. Best man, obviously being a bartender, he was Gin Slinger was his name. He was like the bartender at the party stuff. So it was a lot of fun, and he actually made us martinis while we were playing and all that stuff.
Nice.
So it was
Cool.
a good time. It was a good time.
Very cool.
So did you guys catch the killer or what?
So it was funny. It was like that Spider-Man meme because at the end we had to say who we thought the killer was and why. And I kid you not, everyone voted for someone different. Yeah, it was great. So only the best man got it right, and everyone else just pointed to someone else different for different reasons. But yeah, it was fun.
That's fun. Yeah, and then you got into a comedy club, and then you also went to a casino. That sounds like a really good group though, and everybody kind of into it. Were all these 7 guys like all from the same group, or is that coming from like different like family, friends,
No,
different kinds of friends?
2 of the guys are friends of the grooms from like online gaming, met online, became best friends type of thing. Have hung out in person since then, but and then myself and the guy that actually got sick knew Quinn from different facets of life. I used to work with him. I forget how the guy that got sick knew Quinn, but then the best man actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this story, but it's nothing bad. It's just funny. But they became best friends because Quinn dated his older sister, broke up with older sister, and stayed around being best friends with best man.
Oh no, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
friendship
crazy.
the last life. And they'd been tight since like middle school because of that. Like the best man was in like 6th grade, and Quinn the groomsman was like in 8th grade, and his older sister was in 8th grade with him. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. Well, hey, whatever
Yeah.
works. Whatever works.
Yeah, man. So different facets. All that to say, different
Different
facets.
facets. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like you guys had a good time. It's kind of, a different group, it sounds like, too, from what you went on Austin. What kind of group would you say is a good fit for the Poconos?
Definitely more chill. Obviously, there's no downtown for us to go bar hopping or anything like that. So it's more of that, hey, we're going to hang out. Our Airbnb had a hot tub like an indoor hot tub. So we were just hanging out in the hot tub drinking. We did
Nice.
smoke cigars in the inside part in the hot tub. I don't know if that was allowed, but we did it.
It's
But
a bachelor party.
yeah, it's fine. So you got to go into it expecting that. Like you're not going to be hit up any other than the casino. No strip clubs in the area that I know of. No bars, anything like that as far as a main line.
Mm-hmm.
There was one bar that was attached to the pizza shop. We got pizza from one night, and Enrique, the best man, and with the name Enrique, he's South American. What's the word I'm looking for here? Latino. He walked in and he was like, I felt like I was gonna get ice called on me from the like very very blue collar redneck area. So that's the only bar we saw other than just like going to the beer distributor and getting our own stuff. But yeah, very chill, good group for that. But which it fit Quinn perfectly, which was great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's most important, really.
Yeah.
If you were going to be changing something about this trip, like say knowing what you know now, and if you were planning it for yourself, but you were going to the Poconos, is there something you would have rather been doing?
I don't know if rather been doing is the right terminology. I think probably, granted, I came a day late, but maybe done an extra day. So they went Friday through Sunday. I think maybe Thursday through Sunday would have been good because it was, granted, Friday night everyone showed up and all they did was they pretty much played poker, drank, and had dinner. But if you do that Thursday night, you could in theory do paintball on what's it called? Friday. Thank you. And then done a full day at the casino on Saturday, and then Sunday be the send off. It just felt a little cramped trying to fit all of that in essentially 2 days because it was half day on Friday and then everyone left early Monday morning. So, yeah, that's my only critique. A little bit longer, maybe at the casino, because the casino had other stuff. It had a golf simulator in there, a bunch of restaurants, stuff that we didn't even really hit, a brewery in there. Yeah, that's my only critique.
For as critiques go, though, wanting more time there,
Yeah,
that's not a bad one.
that's
I feel
not
like
bad.
every bachelor party, you're kind of like, dang, I kind of wish this never ended.
Yeah, man.
Give me some more.
Yeah, it was a blast, and we all became a really tight unit there, which helped because the wedding was in end of May. So I don't know if I answered that at the beginning of the question, but about 2 months before the wedding, and we picked it up like it was 2 days ago, just hanging out and
Nice.
being hooligans for Saturday, and then the wedding on Sunday. So it was a blast.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
It seems like that two months is kind of like the sweet spot too.
I think
just
so. Yeah.
in our talks with people. But all right, yeah. So I mean, taking all that into consideration here, let's jump into a rating. What would you kind of give this on the whole scale? Talk us through it.
Yeah. So for Quinn, for the groom specifically, I'm giving it like an 8.5. For bachelor parties in general, I'm giving it like a 6.7. That's what I thought through. Because again, there's paintball, there's casino, and then there's hanging out at the Airbnb. That's pretty much all that you have up there. Granted, paintball and casino pretty dope, but
Absolutely.
for just sheer lack of versatility, not versatility.
Versatility?
Lots of options.
Options, yes, versatility. Thank you, Will. That had to take it down a couple notches, but for Quinn and for the guys that specific one, solid 8.5. But if we're talking just anyone, 6.7.
I can appreciate that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, very fair.
I can't wait to have you back on again because this
Yeah.
has been a lot of fun having you on twice now. I appreciate you being such a fan of the show. And just thank you so much.
Yeah, man. I got 3 more in the chamber, one of which being mine. Got married since the first recording, so it's yeah, man. I got a couple stories for you.
Drew, dude, it's been awesome having you on here. I appreciate you coming on for the second time and being such a fan of the show. I can't wait to have you back on again because I know you have some coming up, and you got married since the last one. So just big congratulations to
Yes,
you.
sir.
And
Appreciate that.
thank you so much.
Thank you, boys. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Thanks again. We love having you on. Congratulations. Let's do it again soon.
You got it, boys. Thanks. See ya.
Wow. Wow. What some great interviews, huh?
Oh yeah, talk about
Let me just
great similar experiences.
Right? How crazy is that? Let me just say real quick, though, thank you so much, Drew. Thank you so much, Mitch. Really appreciate you guys coming on. You guys had way too similar of bachelor parties. I know it wasn't your guys' owns, but oh my God, they were the same.
Very eerily similar, for sure.
Dude, they both came late to different bachelor parties. Both had right around that 15 markish for people. Both went paintballing. They both shot guns. I don't know if Drew talked about that as much, but he told us after that he was shooting they shot some like assault rifle guns too. They both got a really cool house. Um, I don't know. That's just weird. And then talk about the ratings, almost exactly the same. I don't know. It's too weird.
It really is. It's like, man, can we even put both of these interviews in? They're like almost a similar carbon copy, but it's cool. It's cool to see the perspective, and you really get to understand the major draws. I guess that hammers the point home.
Absolutely, right? I mean, two completely different, same kind of time of year, and then they pick the same things to do. It kind of tells you what a bachelor party might really look like there is that paintball, shooting guns. Sounds like a fun time, though. Rock climbing, I like that they, tailored that to the groom, something that he's really interested in, and then made it fun.
And then the flip side, right, doing that murder mystery night, kind of tailoring it to
Yeah.
the bartender and his like interests there. Very
Absolutely.
cool.
Very cool. Very cool. I like how, you're able to include the whole group, but then also make sure it's tailored to the groom. I think that's real important to do. Great job on planning both of these, it sounds like. I have a question for you. What's your take, I guess, on dads coming to the bachelor party?
I was going to ask that and bring that up too. I don't know. I feel like in this setting, or in the one that Mitch was on, that setting, it seemed like it really worked because most of the guys had an established connection and were familiar with him. It wasn't just like a random surprise. I think in that instance, it's kind of cool, kind of fun.
Sure.
If that's not really the case, then I don't know. I feel like it just might put. I don't know that would like be a negative, but it might just be a little awkward for some of the guys not knowing who he is on the trip.
Yeah. It's weird to think, like, for me, like my dad, great time. I would love to have party with him and all that stuff. I don't know if I necessarily want him on my bachelor party just because I'm trying to get into some chaos. But at the same time, it's like he's seen me hammered before, so it's like, what's the difference? But it's a weird vibe. I think bringing a dad to it, or like, do other people have to act differently than in front of somebody, or I kind of just want freedom, everybody to have a good time, and I think dads kind of understand that though too, of like, this is for everybody to have a good time. But
which this dad on the trip kind of almost embodied, right? Saying he hangs out with them, and then at some point he's like, "All right, I'm turning it in. Like,
yeah,
you guys have fun,
that.
keep going." That was
well.
cool.
Let me just say too, we're filming this on the Saturday before Father's Day, so shout out to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day! And
Happy Father's Day.
you know what'd be cool? What if some of these fathers that are listening could either come on the episode and talk about their crazy times? We have some questions because I think bachelor parties have completely changed since when they were in bachelor parties, from not having phones to record everything. You're not getting in trouble as much. You're kind of just wilder times. but I also think it wasn't like the huge weekends, thousands of dollars going in. So I kind of want
Yep.
to hear their stories of their crazy times.
I want
So
to talk about. At one point we should talk about kind of the evolution of a bachelor party. I think you started to hit on it there,
mm,
but the perception and the idea of what a bachelor party is has definitely changed, even just within like the last 20 years. I feel like so. I think that'd be really cool to get their experience. So hit us up if you want to
yeah,
come on the podcast.
let me give my 30-second real quick, right? Dads, we want to hear your story. Come on the podcast so we can hear the crazy times you had back in your day.
Love it. Your elevator pitch for coming on the podcast.
Yeah. I think bachelor parties, started in the Roman times? Like, they've been around for a long time, and they've definitely evolved to different things. So it'd be really cool to dive into that. And now
Yeah.
we're talking here about our dads, should they come on bachelor parties. So that's fun. I don't know. It sounds like they had a great time with him. It didn't seem too awkward or anything like that. I thought this was a funny thing that Mitch brought up too, was the food concern of, you want to pack in the house. Really nice that, you're drivable here, which is like really cool. I know he went to one in Austin, Texas, and there was a big group as well. And they kind of went like, hey, we got to feed people, and there's like 20 dudes, and what do we do? So it is kind of funny in that aspect where it's like,
Wait. Is this the same person? They both were on bachelor parties that were the same here in the Poconos. They both went to Austin. That's too
it
funny.
could be the same exact person. It's
That's
wild.
awesome.
It's wild. It's wild. That doesn't make sense. They are the same person, same experiences. It's pretty cool. But it sounds like they both had a great time. Yeah, I mean, I think Mitch even said it's all about having a good time with the boys.
Yeah, and one other thing Mitch brought up too, which I think is a really good point and very relevant to the Poconos or maybe some of these more low key ones. It's like, yes, you obviously get to bring in more people. More people are going to have. There's going to be more buy-in, but also I guess there's no real bars or clubs. You're not doing that kind of thing. And he said, when you're out at a bar or a club, what are you going to be doing anyway? You're probably going to be talking with all your buddies that you're with on this bachelor trip. So that is a really good point, right? The bachelor parties to be hanging out with all these guys celebrating the groom. I don't hate that argument that like, hey, maybe we don't need to be out at a bar where I can't even hear you talk when that's kind of what I'm here for to do.
Yeah.
I get it. I like it.
Yeah, cost effective too. Buying a case when it's like the same as 5 beers at a bar at the house, and you're going to be talking to the same guys. It makes sense. Let's get into their ratings though.
Yeah.
Also, again, eerie, similar. They said for the groom it was an 8.5 or a 9, and that's Drew and then Mitch. And then for all bachelors, all in all, Drew's was a 6.7 and Mitch's was a 6.6. This is not planned, people. This is not. They don't talk to each other. They don't
know
anything.
each other.
They don't know each other. Yeah, this is nuts. But what's your take on those scores, those rates?
I mean, I think they did a pretty good job of breaking it down. I think both of their styles kind of lends them to the scores that they gave. I personally would probably go just a tad lower, not too much. I think they did a great job. We could jump into it if you want.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you have anything else. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to go with my personal score of a 6.2 out of 10. So like I said, pretty close to theirs, maybe a little tad lower, with kind of their main pros being the affordability and the group friendliness. I think that's a huge bonus. The privacy being out kind of in the middle of nowhere. You don't have to really worry about the whole lot of dressing up, maybe being too loud. You could probably have fires, that kind of thing. Tons of adventure, a lot of opportunities there. And then like kind of just flexibility in the schedules, it seems maybe more so than like going to clubs and doing these events in super poppin' cities. But I guess on the downside, you pretty much have no nightlife. it's going to be hanging out in the cabin, which, as we talked about, can be a lot of fun. But in my eyes, for a bachelor party, I think you want to have at least one night out on the bars. You're going to need a car. Everything's, you know, you're going to have to drive everywhere. There's not any walkable opportunities unless you're planning to go on like a 50-mile hike to a restaurant. I don't know. And then one other big thing that pulled away, and I don't know maybe if they considered this, is the proximity of the Poconos to a lot of other potential locations. You are pretty close to Philly. You're close to a lot of like beach towns in New Jersey. You're pretty close to New York City, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get it if you're trying to save money. This is a very attractive place, but you know, you're having one last hurrah for the groom, right? I think you might as well go and hit one of those big cities that are like an hour or maybe a little more away. So that's my rating. I'd love to hear what your analysis is and where you're at.
I'm not far off. You said 6'2", is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so I went a little bit lower in my rating. I was a 5.9. So right. I think we're right there mentally. I think what knocks me down a little bit more than something that like you kind of mentioned and stuff a little bit. You need cars there and stuff. And that's because mainly people from around the area are going here and they're going to be driving. I don't think necessarily people are flying in to come to the Poconos. I think it's mainly the people around the area. You know, you could do a pretty big circle around, kind of like hitting New York, hitting Jersey, hitting some PA and stuff. I think that's primarily where you're going to be getting all the tourism from and all the bachelor parties. So when I'm looking at bachelor parties, all in all, I think this has a lot to offer and there's a lot of good things to do. It's got all the seasons in there and you've got different stuff to do in seasons, which is cool. So it's like what you want out of your bachelor party. This probably has something to offer you that you might like, and it might not be, if you know you have a whole list of things, it might not check off every one. But if you're like, oh, I really want to do one thing, there's a good chance that you can find it in the Poconos. But again, I wouldn't say there's probably other places that have a bigger version of whatever it is. You know, like you have your skiing and snowboarding, but then you have Colorado. You know, you have brewery tours, but then you have places that have tons of breweries and tons of all this stuff. You want to go to beaches? Yeah, there's beaches, real beaches that are close, and then you have like some lakeside beaches that are close. There's beach towns that are way bigger. So it's like this has that little bit of everything, but what it does have, which is real nice, is your quiet and serenity in it. You have these mega cabins that can host large groups and have a lot of amenities, which is really cool. So I think it's not a terrible place to go. I think 5.9, it just brings it down because it's really good for the circle around it. Bachelor trips, all in all, I don't think necessarily this is the destination. I was kind of teasing Mitch a little bit about it. You said, you know, is this the gem that's, you know, the unspoken gem here or anything? And he was like, no, it's not, you know, but I think it is a great place. If you're around the area, I would highly, you know, do your research. It's cost effective, cost friendly, whatever you want to say. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it's a bad spot by any means. I think this is just what, like, you know, like they said, it's perfect for the groom. I totally get that. People will go there and have a great time and it will be exactly what they want. My rating is just, not every groom is like that, or not every party is like that. So will everybody at the party enjoy it, kind of thing. So that's why I'm at 5.9.
Yeah, and like you said, I could even see somebody who's a real club heavy guy rating this even way lower, right? So wide range of people that you have to consider, especially if there's going to be 15 plus guys. Kind of want to make sure that everybody are like at least okay with this option.
And just to piggyback off of that, we did that episode that we picked each other's bachelor parties for the viewers to get to know us a little bit and see what we like. We both had outdoor adventures on this. we like that kind of stuff, and we think the Poconos would be good because we generally like that stuff. So we have to kind of take ourselves out of it and see the whole picture. But like, I would love this. I would love doing the hiking, the adventures, rafting, cabrewing, like all that in there, golfing. Like, so this would, in my personal rating, I would put this higher. And I think you might too. Like, I
would
kind
do
of
the
like
same
that
thing.
quietness, but then you can also get out and meet people or whatever. So yeah, so I don't know. It's just kind of, I'm just trying to tie myself back, which may even bring it down lower because I'm like, take your mind out of it, you know, take your heart out. So, but that's where I'm at. I like this place. I like the Poconos. I don't think this is like a do better. I think this is good job and keep being you.
Absolutely. Great analysis too by both Mitch and Drew. And if you guys have anything we think we missed, or you have a different point of view on it, love to hear from you in the comments, or hit us up and we can talk about it on the podcast.
Where should we talk next? Let us know. Where should we talk next?
Yes, we'd love to know.
Yeah. What do you want to hear? Let's get into it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Have a good one.
It's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to the beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride.